Well, this has got a more of a...
No, I'm not talking about that part.
Well, I'm talking about it. This has got a more of a UV orange, which I honestly like better, but this is definitely much more shiny and the colors are nice and bright. But you can tell the differences in the colors on the orange.
Yeah.
Is not as neon as I'd like them to be. So that's a little upsetting. Probably all yellowed.
Ugh.
And disgusting. And compare that to...
It looks like that one's been sitting out in the sun.
Moving further along on installing the plastics. So what I've seen other people do on Pinside is what I'm doing now. And let me get over here. Ouch. Is I have got an LED strip right there. And I've got it wired using that GI bulb right there. And so I've got the same thing on here. These are going through a purchasable through Comet. So I don't have to do any kind of wire rigging or anything. It's just wired directly in right there. So, and I've got it cut and wired accordingly. So that way this lights up whenever the GI comes on. So it just makes it look better. Otherwise, this doesn't light up at all. So I thought that was a really cool mod. Not sure who started it, but I liked it. So now I'm going to do that. And so now I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about doing this. I've got this piece right here. This is the LED strip that I've got to eventually cut down to the correct size. But before I do that, I need to make a hole about a 1/4 inch up over here. And I just need it to be big enough to fit this portion through. I'm going to be using the drill press for that. And see, I've got that hole just big enough to fit it tightly squeezes through there. Now, if I wanted to, then I could have just, sorry, this is horrible footage. If I wanted to, then I could have just spliced some wires and the hole would have been as big. But this works out pretty good. If you can see from this angle, probably not very well, but that's how it goes in there. And as you can see from when you're playing, you can't even see it anyways, even from the angles. So it works out pretty good. So now all I gotta do is cut it accordingly, and it's got double-sided tape already on the back of it. And then we'll get it all back together again. Here we go, guys. Over 2 years, this machine has been taken apart. And now we are about to turn it on and see what happens. No smoke, no fire. Got a GI bulb out right there. A couple of GI bulbs out on that one. Let's see here. No balls, so that's gonna happen. Alright. Well, you can already see that certain solenoids are not working, so where did that ball even come from? But one thing I need to mention is that the MPU in here is faulty. So I can't judge this completely by the playfield. I know that the board is faulty. And I really wanted the board to be a good one before I did my first test. But this really gives me an idea, at least on a lot of stuff that is working and functional. No smoke, no fire. So we can go into settings now and really start going through this game and seeing what all we can find that may be an issue. Alright, the troubleshooting begins, and me and my brilliant self have realized that I did not, if I can get this in the camera or not, but I did not, there we go. I did not put the damn actuators for these switches underneath the leaf switches, so my trough switches are not even going to work because I didn't install them correctly. So that's my bad on that. That's one of those where I see this and I'm like, how did I mess that up? I'm gonna get those fixed and then my trough should all be working. There's a couple of bulbs that weren't working. Those were just needed a little adjusting, and that was it. So what I'm doing is going over the playfield and figuring out what switches work, which ones don't, which bulbs work, which ones don't. And on my screen over here, these are the switches that I've currently got marked that do not work. So that's either going to let me know that I've got a lane or a row issue. And that is what we're working on right now. So I'm going to fix these trough issues first, and then we'll power it back on and see what we got.